The psychology of a person without a friend circle is often misunderstood because from the outside, they may look fine. They go to college, they go to work, they scroll through their phone, they laugh at memes, they reply politely when spoken to, they show up when expected, and they fulfill their responsibilities. Nothing about them screams loneliness. But loneliness is rarely loud. It does not announce itself. It does not always cry or collapse. It sits quietly inside, growing stronger in moments when the world goes silent, late at night, during breaks between conversations, or when everyone else seems to have somewhere to go. A person without a friend circle does not just lack people to hang out with. They lack a sense of belonging, and that absence slowly shapes how they think, how they feel, and how they see themselves in relation to the world. For many people without a friend circle, loneliness is not about being physically alone in a room. It is about feeling alone even when surrounded by others. It is sitting in a classroom, a cafe, an office, or a family gathering and feeling like you don't fully exist in the moment. Conversations happen around you. Laughter moves past you. Plans are made near you, but not with you. You are present, but not included. Over time, this creates a subtle psychological distance. You begin to feel like an observer instead of a participant in your own life. And slowly, almost without realizing it, a quiet question forms in the mind. Why doesn't anyone choose me? That question does not arrive dramatically. It arrives softly, but once it settles, it lingers. And the longer it stays unanswered, the more it turns into self-doubt. As time passes, the mind begins to turn inward. A person without a friend circle often starts blaming themselves, even if they are not consciously aware of it. They begin searching for reasons. Maybe I'm boring. Maybe I'm awkward. Maybe I talk too little. Maybe I talk too much. Maybe I'm too serious. Maybe I'm forgettable. These thoughts do not appear all at once. They accumulate slowly, shaped by comparison. They watch others form friendships effortlessly, laugh easily, make plans naturally, and they wonder what secret everyone else learned that they somehow missed. This comparison does not motivate them, it erodes them. Their self-worth becomes fragile, tied to the absence of social validation. The lack of friends begins to feel like evidence, not coincidence. Evidence that something is wrong with them. In many cases, this psychology does not begin in adulthood. It begins early in life. Some people grew up being excluded, overlooked, or quietly ignored. Some were the quiet child. Some were different. Some did not fit neatly into social groups. Others tried to belong and were met with rejection, betrayal, or ridicule. The brain remembers these experiences deeply. Rejection leaves a stronger imprint than acceptance. So even years later, the emotional memory remains active. Even in new environments with new people, the fear travels with them. The fear of being unwanted, the fear of being judged, the fear of trying again and failing again. The mind learns to associate connection with pain and pain with exposure. Because of this, many people without a friend circle develop emotional self-protection. They stop reaching out first. They stop initiating conversations. They stop showing interest too openly. They tell themselves they don't need anyone. They convince themselves they prefer solitude. Sometimes this independence is real, but often it's armor, a psychological shield designed to prevent disappointment. If I don't expect connection, I cannot be hurt by its absence. If I stay distant, I stay safe. Over time, this armor becomes heavy. It protects, but it also isolates. It keeps others out, even when the desire for connection is still very much alive underneath. Another common pattern is hyper-awareness. People without a friend circle often become extremely sensitive to social cues. They analyze tone, they analyze facial expressions, they analyze silence. They replay conversations in their mind, sometimes for hours or days, wondering if they said something wrong, if they came across as strange, if they were annoying, or if they were ignored. A small, awkward moment feels massive. A delayed reply feels like rejection. A short response feels like disinterest. Their mind is constantly scanning for confirmation of their deepest fear, that they do not belong. This constant self-monitoring is exhausting. It creates tension even in neutral interactions. Over time, this hyper-awareness often turns into social anxiety, not because they dislike people, but because people have become emotionally unpredictable. They may want connection deeply, yet feel frozen when opportunities appear. In group settings, they may stay quiet, not because they have nothing to say, but because they are afraid of saying the wrong thing. And when they do speak and feel ignored or talked over, it reinforces the belief that silence is safer. This creates a painful psychological loop, where the desire for connection exists alongside a fear of being seen. They want closeness, but visibility feels dangerous. Shame plays a powerful role in this experience. Society rarely talks openly about people who don't have friend circles. Friendship is treated as automatic, effortless, universal. So when someone doesn't have it, they internalize the idea that they are defective. They may avoid questions about their social life. They may lie, exaggerate, or change the subject. They may pretend they are too busy. This hidden shame makes loneliness heavier because it turns pain into secrecy, and secrecy deepens isolation. When loneliness becomes something you hide, it becomes you define internally. In the digital age, this psychology becomes even more intense. Social media constantly presents images of connection, friend groups, birthdays, inside jokes, trips, memories. For someone without a friend circle, scrolling becomes emotional self-harm, even when they know it's curated and selective. The brain does not respond to logic, it responds to comparison. Every image becomes a reminder of absence. Social media promises connection, but often delivers distance. It creates the illusion that everyone else belongs somewhere, while you are standing still, watching life move forward without you. Some people cope by staying busy. They distract themselves with work, study, content, games, or fictional worlds. Others numb the pain through unhealthy habits. These behaviors are not signs of weakness. They are attempts to survive an emotion that has no clear endpoint. Chronic loneliness hurts in a unique way. It does not come from a single loss. It comes from an accumulation, from years of quiet absence, from not being chosen, from not being remembered. Yet there is a side to this psychology that is rarely acknowledged. People without a friend circle often develop deep inner worlds. They observe more, they reflect more, they understand emotions deeply, sometimes more deeply than those who are constantly surrounded by others. Solitude sharpens awareness. It builds creativity. It builds emotional intelligence. Many sensitive, thoughtful, and creative individuals grow in loneliness before they grow in connection. But growth does not erase pain. The human brain is wired for belonging. No amount of self-improvement replaces the need to be seen and understood. Healing begins when loneliness is no longer treated as personal failure. A lack of friends is not a measurement of worth. It is often the result of timing, environment, emotional wounds, and life circumstances. The most important psychological shift is learning that vulnerability is not weakness. Connection does not require perfection. It requires presence. Small steps matter. One conversation, one shared interest, one moment of courage. Not every attempt will work, and that does not mean it was wrong to try. In the end, the psychology of a person without a friend circle is shaped by loneliness, fear, self-doubt, and quiet resilience. It is the experience of wanting connection while protecting oneself from pain. It is the tension between longing and defense. And while the journey can feel slow and unfair, it is not permanent. Friendships are not rewards for being flawless. They are built through shared humanity. And often, the people who spent the longest time alone are the ones who value connection the most when they finally find it.